Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. I don't know why. Okay, so this is not a real Ouija board. You see, it has the thingy, I forget what you call the little thingy that you use to run around on the Ouija board. I have a real one. Where's my real one? Can't see it. But they're drawing my eyes to that right off the get-go, and I never paid any attention to that. And they're talking about a pendulum. So you need to get a pendulum. You can use a pencil tied on a string. Pendulums don't work very well for me, and my guides, I tried so hard in the beginning, my guides told me that they didn't want it to work for me because if I had done that, I probably would have never moved past it into doing the things that I'm doing now. So they didn't want me to get stuck there. So anyway, get a pendulum. I'm not saying get a Ouija board, but go to YouTube, learn how to program it if you don't know already. These will usually answer, see, for me, this is yes. They'll usually answer one or two questions and then they stop working. Usually it'll get pretty violent, though. It's a little yes. So anyway, you could like write down on a piece of paper yes and no if you wanted to and make it point to one or the other. Or, well, that wouldn't work. How's that going to work? How's it going to work? This is Paula telling me. Paula's telling me to do that. Tell you this. So if you had yes and no here, and it swang back and forth between them, well, it'd be going back and forth to yes and no. So that's not going to work. Maybe yes and no. So if it went this way, it would be yes, and this, well, to me, I better not say that to it. Don't listen. This is yes to me. This is the way I program mine. And then if you put a no over here, and it went this way, this is no to me. And then to me, if it starts going in a circle, that's I don't know or maybe. And you can program it any way you want to. Like I said, YouTube's free. There's so many people that can show you better ways than I can because like I said, it doesn't work for me. But for some reason, the Ouija board does not go with the pendulum. But there's something about maybe putting letters out there. I don't know how that would work with the pendulum, picking out the letters to talk to you. Anyway, she says, Paula says, thank you so much for thinking of me. Again. Have we read her before? She said again. I do so many I can't remember. I love you so much. That's why I was excited to be your godmother. Because it was such a big privilege. Because you were such a wonderful child. And I'm sorry I couldn't stay to help you. But know that I am still nudging you from the other side. And sending you love and kindness. And trying to give you peace in your heart. Okay, she's wanting me to show you. I kind of burnt my sage up a little bit here. Hang on. I like loose leaf sage. I don't know, it's kind of burnt. So I was doing a couple readings earlier. I like it just little. I don't like the big sticks. I can't keep them lit. I don't want to stay lit long enough for me to do anything with them. Of course, this doesn't really either, but this is easier to light. Seems like it takes forever to light a stick. Anyway, why am I babbling that, Paula? She wants me to show you. Okay, I watch Heartland. It comes on like at 5 o'clock in the morning. if I'm asleep on the couch, it literally wakes me up. I love this show so much. And it's made up in Canada, I do believe, with horses and all the good stuff. Anyway, so the girl went to see a Native American friend. She needed help with her horse. Well, what she really needed was help with herself. She just didn't realize it was her, not the horse, doing wrong things. So this is what he showed her. Gosh, if I could have that episode on here, I sure would. And I wish I could have recorded because he had a circle of rocks and then he had lines and this north, south, east, and west, all the four corners. And then there was something with each corner of that for yourself. But anyway, the sage, and I know you can really see it. See my junk? I got junk. It's going to get worse because I got to move all this shit probably after a while. Anyway, he would take the sage and like he cupped it and put it on him and cupped it and put it on him and cupped it and put it on him. And then he cupped it and put it on his heart. And I thought, that is so interesting. And Native Americans, they know more about this stuff than we do. I don't know if you know anything about Standing Rock a few years ago. I was watching that on a computer, an iPad, and I think a cell phone. I was watching the crap that was going on. They were doing to the Native Americans. And they didn't understand them burning their teepees down when they left. They thought they were just heathens. No, it's like burning sage. It's like a ritual. It's cleansing. So it's hard to believe that this little bit of smoke, give me clear speaking, I hope. And I'm going to try to remember this for myself. And I always go around myself and like in between my legs, kind of, down by my ankles, so it comes up. And I go around my head because that's the worst part. That's where all the bad shit's going on in there. But to me, it really does help clear things out and protect you too. I also believe it has a little protection in it. So she thinks that would be very good for you. And to give you love, put it on your heart. She also says get a rose quartz. And of course, all my little ones, no, not all of them. I think I have one here. They don't have to be very big. I have a whole thing full of them over there. Little bitty ones. I wish I could send them out to all my peeps on here. And rose quartz is for love. I carry tourmaline in my pocket at all times. That's for protection. That's to keep negative energy away. But rose quartz is for love. I don't know. Do you live around here in my area? I think that's rose quartz. It's an angel. Isn't that beautiful? They don't have to be big. My favorite stone is this one. It's the most powerful one I have. And look how little it is. I've been blessed. So I just saw something out of the corner of my eye. I don't know. So you either have or you do or you will see things in your peripheral vision. And you've probably heard me talk about this before. I consider this peripheral vision too. If I'm typing and I see somebody walk by and I go, and I look and I don't see them, but I know they were there. I don't know why it works that way. It just does. So clearly, out of the corner of my eye, saw somebody, and that's unusual for them to be right there. Bob usually is right behind me or across the room. Anyway, so you've seen that going to. She says, no, that I'm there as quick as that. All you have to do is snap your fingers. I'll be right there. And I will be listening. She says, darling, love is just around the corner. Just around the corner. And don't worry about that piece of paper. I believe she's talking about a marriage license. She says, don't worry about that piece of paper. Worry about finding somebody who can love you as much as you should love yourself. Okay, so she's telling me I've had to tell one or two other people that this same thing in the last week or so. If there's a little hole in your heart, you think going out and finding this love is going to fill that hole in your heart, but it won't. And if you don't love yourself enough, there will always be that hole, and nobody else can fill that. You have to learn to love yourself, and not in an ego way. We should all walk by the mirror, look in your eyes, and say, I love you. You're beautiful. Your soul's beautiful. Your heart's beautiful. You know how us women always go by the mirror and my hair look okay, as we walk by. But we don't really look at ourselves. Look at your eyes. Something, I don't see me. Something just tickled what the hell is that? I don't know where that came from because it wasn't there a second ago. I'm pretty sure there's no cobwebs here. Shouldn't be. I'm sitting in this spot all the time. That was weird because it was tickling my nose, and then I could feel it brush across my cheek like a really fine hair. It doesn't feel like a cobweb either. That was weird, even in my world. So I don't know where that came from. So know that you'll be feeling that, something like that. Somebody just touched the back of my head. They haven't done that for a while. So loving yourself needs to come before that piece of paper. That's what Paula's saying. Total love for yourself. And then there'll be room in your heart for somebody else to bring their love in. After you learn to love yourself. Totally. She says, stop kicking yourself in the ass for past mistakes, because they are past mistakes for a reason. They're past. Some of them that keep coming up that you kick yourself in the ass about, write them down. Don't make a big long, well, you can, I guess, if you want to, but you don't have to make a big long story. Write it down. I said bad things to Bobby Sue, and I just wish I hadn't, something like that. And then what's she supposed to do with it? And then you need to let that go. You need to let that go. You need to forgive yourself for it. My nose is still tickling, but it's different. It's a different tickle right now. A little bit different tickle. And then spend a few days adding to that list and saying, okay, what did I learn from that? Did I learn from that not to do it again? Did I learn from that maybe to hesitate before I say something to somebody? And I'm not saying you did this. This is an example. Did I hurt myself more by doing this than the other person? Do I need to apologize? So this is just one example. So write those down. I wouldn't dwell on them too terribly much. Just kind of run it through your energy. And when you get done with that list, burn it. I'm getting tickled all over. Now I do have bangs there, but that doesn't feel like my bangs doing it. That's crazy. My life is crazy. Turn it. And Paula says, no, don't do the same thing with that smoke that you do with the sage. You leave that smoke away from you, step back from it, let it burn, because you don't want to suck that back in. You want that to go out there. She says, I will divert it. I will take care of what I need to. We will keep you safe and happy and warm because I love you. And I'm blessed, blessed that I had you, have you, had you, have you. You know, she keeps repeating it. Had you, have you in my life. She's making me look at my amethyst. Of course, I've got amethyst everywhere. But, oh, that's just, I can't, I'm not taking that off. It's a hang me down thingy. I think you're supposed to hang it from the mirror in your car, but no, thank you. Kind of big. Amethyst. I have an amethyst necklace. Only because I'm going to show you the size of it. She wants me to show you how little it is. Now, this one was given to me by my woo-woo lady. Isn't that just a pretty little piece of amethyst? And it's very powerful. And it's only this big. Even though I've got my sights set on getting me some big frickin' rock of some kind for my woo-woo room. Not till after Christmas. So, anyway, she wants you to know she's always there to help. And I think you probably know that because you've had enough readings. Don't forget, if something in this doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. There goes my dog. Dog's 4 pounds and she makes more noise than a German Shepherd. People making so much noise. Okay, so she says, keep in touch. I think you know, if you want to talk to her, sit down, invite her in and talk. And hopefully, maybe not right that minute, but hopefully within the next day or so, you will get a validation of something. Maybe somebody would just say the name Paula, so that you know that she heard you. But I think you know they hear you. I don't think you'd come back for another reading if you didn't at least partially believe that they are there for you. She's skipping away, skipping. She's very light, very happy-go-lucky, very, very pretty spirit, free spirit. Okay, that we're going to let her go. Thank you very much, my dear. I will try to get your house clearing. I have not done that yet. And I know you have another reading. So I'll try to get that done. Oh, I'm going to a funeral tomorrow. So it might be next week. But I'm going to get everything done. I'm going to get all caught up before Christmas. I hope. So she said, go find your little piece of rose quartz. I have a big one, and I paid $5.20 for it. And I always keep it here. That's the one I touch when I start feeling bad during a reading. I'll put my fingers on it. Okay. Thank you very much, my dear, for allowing me to be your voice. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown mediums, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Mwah. Love you to pieces.